Last thing I would want on this fucking podcast is for someone to be in here and then tell me what the fuck to do.
If you don't like it, you can cut it out.
That's not what the fuck we're here for.
You're another clown in the fucking circus.
It could be a different day, but it's the same, homie. How you look me in my eyes, didn't change on me. They done me dirty and I think they left a stain on me. They put the blame on me. So for your time up, go get it now. And ain't no telling where you wind up. From the bottom, I went through hell just to climb up. When they get gangster, you do not get.
Sitting right here and just talking about the whole self-funding thing, I just can't stop thinking about this. When we sat down with a potential investor, I sat there the whole time, right? And I casted the vision. I looked at him. And I was saying, we're self-funded. And so, yeah, of course, we're going a little bit slow, but we're figuring out how to solve every problem we come across. So when we get to the top, we're going to know how to execute. So we're looking there and they're like, well, this is how much it costs to make this. And you're only selling it for this much. You should be selling this for $80. The whole time, like, I'm trying to cast them to my vision, show them why I'm doing this, the impact it's going to make on the world. They were oblivious to that. And all they cared about was, how much profit can they gain from it? How much profit? How much profit? How much profit? And I'm tired of hearing about all these greedy hogs wanting to make as much profit in the world as possible instead of just like helping, right? And so like the whole time of sitting there with that potential investor, like my blood was boiling.
You and I were both upset.
Yeah, and it just wasn't a boiling for the fact that they just didn't line with our vision. Of course, like money is gonna come, right? It's like an obvious fact. It's gonna come eventually. But like I don't care about that. What I care about is influencing the lives of others in a positive way. And that's the biggest thing for me, man, is staying self-funded.
You know, we know this person. We know them personally. They know how passionate we are about impacting others, how passionate we are about, you know, leaving an impact on the world. And not only that, making the absolute best product. We're not going in there to participate. We're going into this industry to take over.
Exactly.
We're not trying to get a participation medal just to say we fucking did it.
Oh, no.
We're trying to get the fucking championship title. Exactly. We're trying to be the motherfuckers that reign superior on top.
Exactly.
Not because we have the most fucking overflow of products and we sell them for the fucking best amount of profit margins, but because we truly dedicate ourselves to providing our consumers with the best possible product, the best possible services. And not only that, we provide our employees with an environment that they can go home and tell their family about, and that they would not wake up in the morning and be like, fuck, I have to go to work. With this podcast that we're doing this to help as many of you out that's sitting at home watching this right now that have questions that need to be answered. Last thing I would want on this fucking podcast is for someone to be in here that have the same fucking ideas as us in terms of what they're trying to create or what they're trying to impact, and then tell me what the fuck to do. That's not what the fuck we're here for. When you don't understand what value you're providing for your consumers, do you genuinely think your consumers know what value you provide for them? If you as the owner don't even fucking know. So at the end of the day, it comes down to this. It's about how bad do you truly want this shit? How bad do you truly want to succeed? Yes, you tell yourself every single day, I'm going to be successful. Yes, you tell yourself every single day, I want to succeed. I want to make something out of my life. But how much of that talking have you actually converted into action? Because until you convert it into action, there is no real results that's going to be gained from nothing but just talking. All you're doing is talking yourself up, but then your actions show something different. Your words say one thing, your actions show another. Your words say that you're going to be successful. Your actions shows that you don't have the fucking work ethic to get there. A lot of you are struggling right now, and I get it. I know a lot of you are tired. I know it sucks. I know a lot of you are stressed out right now, and I know a lot of you want to turn around and quit. But before you do so, I want you to ask yourself this question. 5 years from now or 10 years from now, when I reflect back to this moment, will I be proud that I chose to give up on my dream? Or will I wonder where I'd be at if I didn't? Nothing you do is going to be easy in life. I don't care if you work at McDonald's. I don't care if you work at a retail store. I don't care if you have a business, if you're an athlete. Nothing is ever going to be easy. The only thing you have full control over in your life is your emotions and your perception. The way you see things and the way you react to things. Those two factors are going to determine your overall emotional state and, most importantly, your overall physical state, how you carry yourself, how you go about your day-to-day life, where you end up in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Because if you're sitting at home and you're telling yourself life sucks, this sucks, everything fucking sucks, are you really going to do anything to change it? No. But if you tell yourself, right now, this situation I'm in, I'm not comfortable with. How can I make this better? How can I put myself in a position to win big? How can I put myself in a position to take massive action to get the results necessary to achieve the things I want to achieve? Because when you sit at home and you just tell yourself, oh, this shit sucks, man. Life sucks. Oh, fuck, this shit's hard. Oh, you guys have no idea how stressed I am. Oh, I'm more stressed than you are.
It's like they're sitting there complaining about who the fuck is the bigger bitch. Like, it's actually fucking mind-blowing to me. It's like, no, I'm more of a victim than you, right? Like, who gives a fuck about the victim mentality? How about get a little bit of winner mentality?
Yeah, but
I don't give a fuck who the biggest bitch is. I don't give a fuck who has the most miserable life. I want to hear wins.
If you are friends with somebody or you closely associate yourself with somebody who you notice the only time you guys interact is when you guys complain about something and cry and bitch and moan every second you get, maybe it's best to separate yourself from them. Separate yourself from the people that are only going to bring you further down or is only going to make your mental state and your emotional way of being worse. Reason I'm saying that is this. A lot of people, they don't genuinely care about what you're going through. A lot of people don't genuinely care about what you're complaining about. The only reason they listen to you complain is because they know that once you're done, at the moment when you stop complaining and bitching, it's their turn to start complaining.
Yeah.
They get to complain. Now they have someone that they can complain to. And then guess what happens? You have a 30-minute conversation complaining about what's wrong with each other's lives. And when you walk out of a situation like that, after you've both just finished complaining to one another, do you usually walk out feeling better, feeling more accomplished, feeling like you've gotten something out of your chest and feeling like you're better now? No. You walk out of that situation and about 99% of the time, you start fucking reflecting about how shitty life is.
Yeah.
You start thinking about you start thinking about every single thing you just complained about. If you know you need to continue taking steps forward to get to another level in life, why are you so focused on what's behind you? If you know that you need to take the necessary actions and the necessary steps to keep moving forward, why is your primary focus on what's in the back? Don't make big plans for your future if throughout your entire fucking journey, you're just going to focus on your past. Don't dwell on past shit and expect yourself to have a successful future. It never works that way.
Focus on what's ahead and use what's behind you as a way to use the past to your advantage. Use those failures from the past to overcome the obstacles you face today.
Utilize your past to help you navigate to your future. Use your past failures and your past mistakes to give you the proper guidance necessary to actually get to your destination. Safely. There's going to be risk everywhere. With the proper things in place, this is where awareness is going to come in. When you look in your rearview mirror, you look at your side mirrors. Why are you doing that? So you're aware. So you know who's coming up beside you. So you know who's coming up behind you. So you make sure nobody fucking is asleep behind the wheel, rear ends you. You want to be aware. You want to see who's behind you. You want to see who's to the left and right hand side of you. Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to bring it down to this, the reason you want to be aware about who you have behind you and who you have to the sides of you, because you may be focused, you may have your eyes on a prize, but you may have the wrong motherfuckers around you that don't give a fuck about what you're doing, that can care less, that are not as driven, that's only going to fucking bring you down and only going to take your career to a crashing stop.
Hell yeah. That's all I got. That's the words out of my mouth. That's all I can say, bro. If you were correlated to business, right? You're driving and you're this person, you're relying on them to be driven and motivated, but they're fucking texting and driving, and all of a sudden, boom, they crash into you. Well, they just fucked you up. That's the same thing in business. Your partner is sitting there dragging you fucking down for no reason. Guess what? He's not as motivated and driven, so he's gonna fucking crash into you, total your car, aka he's gonna fucking ruin your business. If your team is failing you, if your team is not motivated, if your team is not putting forth the effort or work required, it goes down to the saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if there's a weak link in your team and they can't fucking push forward, guess what? Their whole chain is going to snap and you won't be able to hold that tension.
Let me ask you this, Darren. What advice would you give to somebody who's on the verge of quitting, who's about to give up, and who thinks that there is no way out of what their current situation is?
That's a good question. I have to think a little bit on it. If I was at that point, at that breaking point where I'm ready to throw in the towel, I'm ready to quit, I feel like the world is against me, I would want someone to sit down and help me do like a little bit of self-evaluation. I would want them to sit down and be like, hey man, I want you to reflect on why you're feeling this way. What are you facing today that's causing this much stress on you? Are you relying on your team members? Are your team members supportive of you? Are they bringing you down? I would want them to make me get a bigger perspective on my problem. Maybe my problem isn't as big as I think it is. Maybe I'm just I'm blowing it out of proportion, right? Maybe I have so many little problems that it's eating away at me to make it into one big problem. I would want someone there to help me self-reflect on myself, to see if it's the issue with the world or if it's an issue with myself that I can handle and deal with.
Your inner world.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that they need to figure out what's going on around them, but usually it's what's going on inside you.
Yeah. So like there's two things in the world. There's the uncontrollable and there's the controllable. People need to stop stressing about the uncontrollable in life. The only thing that you can manage and change is the controllables. So those are the only things you should really worry about. Like you can't control if the fucking sun blows up and wipes out the entire planet and solar system, right? If that is going to happen eventually, how can I make my time here as best as possible? 1, I'm going to try to be a great father to my future family. 2, I'm going to leave a legacy behind. And 3, I'm going to help as many people in the world as I can.
Now let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Let's say you have 30 seconds to tell somebody one thing that you wish that you knew on your way up. What would you tell them?
The one thing I would say to someone is, there is no easy way out and there's no easy way to the top. Make sure you are dedicated, disciplined, and you have the work ethic needed to grow.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you one last question here. If you were new to business,
okay,
if Bra never existed, if this is simply just a platform where you're sharing your dreams. Let's say you're starting off in business. This is your first year. You know, you're just starting to try to get your feet wet. What is one mistake that you would think is commonly made? And what is one way you would try to avoid it?
One mistake that is commonly made. Okay. So if I could give any advice to anyone that is starting a business, I would want them to do some self-evaluation. Is what you're diving into something you're truly passionate about, right? We always talk about passion because it's a major driving force. So I want you to sit down and be like, are you truly passionate about this? Because if you are not truly passionate about it, you're not going to have the dedication to push through those hard times. If you are diving into a business, make sure that it's passionate. Make sure you're not just diving into a fucking clothing brand because, you know, you think it's easy. It's the easiest thing to dive into when in reality, it's the most flooded market, right? So you're going to quit. It's very hard, very difficult to go into that. So make sure you're passionate about it because there's only 2 options that are there and 2 outcomes when you're diving into something you're passionate about. 1, the first outcome is going to be the worst outcome, is that you don't grow a business out of it and you're just doing something you love. Bright side, no time wasted, you're doing something you love. Second option is, guess what? That thing you're passionate about succeeded and you turn into a business and now you are your own boss. You're now making money out of doing something you love and you're not working a single day.
Unpack that a lot for the viewers at home and people that don't quite understand what you mean.
So when you do something you're passionate about, right, there's 2 outcomes possible. 1, you're either going to create a business out of something you love and enjoy doing and make money from it. The second option, right, that is going to happen regardless, is you just spent your time doing something you have fun and enjoy doing.
That's right.
So there's no time wasted at all in either option because you're having fun and you're enjoying what you're doing. But if you're doing something you don't have passion for, guess what? That time is now wasted because you didn't enjoy doing what you're doing. You wasted your time because guess what? You don't value that time you put into doing something you didn't have passion for, right? A lot of people, they don't mind sinking hours a day into video games, right? Because they love video games. They have passion for it. That's why to them, when someone was like, hey, you're wasting your time playing that, to them, they're like, no, I'm not. I'm having fun, right? So if you're doing something you're passionate about, there's no time wasted.
If you use video games to help you make money, like those people on Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, stream video games or...
Look at PewDiePie, bro.
Yeah.
I remember watching his videos when he had like 20,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah, I remember that too. And way back in the day. I was in like middle school.
He's created something out of just having fun, doing something he has fun doing. And it's like Kevin Connolly told us again, it's like, if you have fun doing it, it becomes more of something you're passionate about.
Exactly.
When you have fun doing what you want to do and what your career sets you out to do, you're not going to have an issue getting up every morning to do it. When you don't have fun doing it, it becomes a chore, becomes a job. Now, I know I told you this is the last question last time, but this is actually the last question. What is one thing you're going to tell somebody right now who is getting into business for the wrong reasons, not even just business, that is trying to do things for the wrong reason and it's only primarily focused on going viral or becoming famous?
If you're doing something only in the hopes of going viral, not because you're passionate. One, I'm going to tell you right now, you're never going to succeed. You might have that one-hit wonder, but you're never going to have long-term success and happiness because there's always going to be a new trend. There's always going to be something new to follow. And guess what? If you're not passionate about it, the viewers aren't going to care. They're not going to see the passion. They're not going to want to continue watching. They're just going to see another clown in the fucking circus.
You heard him. Guys, if you gained anything from this, if we were able to answer any of your questions or address any of your concerns, we just ask that you like, comment, share, or subscribe. If you feel like someone could benefit from this, share it. We ask, I don't know how you found this here, but whatever the case may be, we appreciate you watching this. As always, it's a pleasure. From both Darren and I, we appreciate you all just continuing your support for our channel as we continue to grow this and try to provide as much value as possible.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say one thing. If you ever feel like your back is against the wall and there's no way out, just always remember, do some self-reflecting. There's always a way to improve. There's always a way to grow. And there's always somebody to talk to.
Instead of focusing on what's going on in the outside world, get clear on what's going on in yourself. Get clear on what's going on in your mental state and what's going on with you emotionally and physically. Before you try and do anything to impact the world outside of you, do everything necessary to impact the world inside of you. That's where the true passion is going to come out. That's where you're truly going to understand what you've been put on this earth to accomplish and what you've been put on this earth to do. That's where you're truly going to dive deep and realize, okay, this is what I need to do. This is the success I want to create. So first, instead of worrying about, like he mentioned, the uncontrollables, focus on what is controllable, which is your own mental state, your own emotional state, and your own physical way of being. Thank you.